Welcome back to the 5-Minute Bible Study. This is an expansion, a slowed down version of the 1-Minute Bible Study from TikTok and Instagram on my unphotoshopped life. And I just want to remind you that I am untheologianed. I have no training in spiritual things. I am just a girl who's reading her Bible. And I lived the first part of my life thinking I needed to hate myself, or that I was a terrible person, and that God felt the same way. And I just reached a point where it was either figure it out and find out what kind of God you're following, and whether you should be hating yourself, and whether you should feel scared of Him. So we are now moving on to Matthew, the end of chapter 3. Yesterday was when Jesus asked John to baptize him. So I'm going to read this. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. At that moment, heaven was opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lighting on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased." And when I was reviewing my notes today, I actually thought, oh, this isn't a big one. This is like a short little lesson. It's not even going to be 5 minutes, whatever. And I think in my thoughts that I was going to dismiss this as not a huge lesson, I think that's my first mistake, and maybe that's been my mistake all my life, which is why I've had God wrong. I dismissed this as not very important. But he says, "This is my Son whom I love, with him I am well pleased." And when I wrote it down, when I was initially doing this thing just for myself, I tried to put it into everyday terms. And this is what I wrote. "This is my Son, my flesh and blood, a piece of me. As your heart races or aches at different thoughts of your child, so does mine. This is my baby. I love him. I'm so proud of him. I'm literally shouting it from the mountaintops. I'm proud in this moment as he takes this step for me." And so I quickly read my notes today and was like, all right, blah, 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 whatever. That's quick. This is a huge component. This is God showing his emotions and his feelings just like we feel. How I feel for my kids when my heart explodes. Like yesterday I had an amazing day with Summer, and I just felt like all day my heart couldn't keep it in. There was too much love. I can't even imagine how much he feels when he was looking at Jesus that day. His love would be a gazillion times more than mine. And then so much so, he's shouting it from the mountaintops, because he's the one guy that can. He has the ability to actually shout it from the mountaintops, and he's proud. And he told everybody there. He wanted them all to know, guys, this is mine. This is my guy. And look what he's doing, and I just love him to bits. And later in the Bible, if we keep going, I know it says something to the effect of that we become children of God. When we choose to believe in God, we become his children. So his emotion that he poured out this day for Jesus is poured out on us if we've chosen to believe in him. He's a God who loves us and is proud of us and wants to shout it from the mountaintops. It doesn't sound like a raging God. It sounds like an adoring Father. And if I or you, if we're going to change our perspective on God and understand him more, I don't want to brush over this verse. This is God speaking his own words, showing us that he has emotions and love and pride for his children. And I am his child, so take away any raging thoughts about God and throw them in the garbage, because this just clearly shot that down. See you tomorrow.